Hello everyone, welcome to Yamaguchi Japan Speaking Tube Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Issa. This is episode 112. 112. And today is also it's rain, and I thought it is very good to have rain because we had not had rain for a long time, but thinking of the harvest of rice, it is not so good. The farmer can harvest rice during the year of the rice must be dry, I think. I'm not familiar with that kind of thing, but I can imagine it is not so suitable if the ears of rice are very wet. In that situation, to harvest, it is not so good, I think. Anyway, I will talk about talk about myself. So, especially as an artist, why did I, or how did I become an artist? What is like the training for artists in Japan. So if you're interested in that kind of story, would you please listen? And if you don't want to listen my story, just do other thing. When I was a child, to be honest, I cannot remember very well about my when I was small and junior high school. Very strangely, many people have kind of memories of their when they are in elementary school and junior high school and high school, of course. But my memory started from high school. I cannot remember very well about my when I was in junior high school, so I couldn't remember the elementary school and high school, junior high school. A little bit I can remember high school, but not so much. Very few memories I can find, and very few compared to other people. Very strangely, but I thought my consciousness was always sleeping at that time in those days. So that's why I couldn't remember very well. But only I can remember is I liked play with video games, and especially simulation video game, war simulation video game, and do you know Lego block? I I like to play with Lego blocks and toy trains to made some kind of town. And sometimes I drew with pencil the maze on very big paper. There were there was a lot of paper, piece of papers, A4 size paper, A3 size paper, in our house when I was child, because my father is architect. And so there is a copier. There was a copier, and there are plenty of paper by myself, nearby myself, and so I can. My father allowed me to use paper. I could draw a lot of maze. So after the final year of high school, I decided to go to university, which have art university. There were and are 4 or 5 very famous art universities in Japan, art colleges in Japan, and 6 or 7 art colleges in Japan, but almost 6 of them or 5 of them are in Tokyo. So it is very lucky I lived in Tokyo, and before, and of course there the university required us to take entrance examination, but the entrance examination is very outstanding, very different from other university, because other university, so entrance examination is like an English, Japanese, mathematics, science or history of Japan, history of the world. But entrance examinations for art colleges, we had to draw with a pencil, draw something. I don't know, depend on their university or colleges, depend on their year. There's sometimes they gave us some specific motif, for example an apple, for each those take entrance examination. So it is very interesting thing. It seemed interesting, but also it was a very severe test. For example, the most difficult one is and was the art university, University of Arts. Yeah, Tokyo University of Arts. It's the official name, I think. But anyway, the most difficult one, and I've eventually entered that university. There only one to 30 students, 30 can enter. One people enter the university, and 30 or 35, I think 31 failed the entrance examination. It's very severe. Only 3% or something can enter. So this is very too much severe to enter with our own skill, own sense or something. There is the training is necessary. Training for specifically for the entrance examination training is required, or was required all student for all student, I think, and all try to that entrance examination, or those who try to entrance examinations. So there were and are some cram schools, special cram schools for their drawing and painting for the entrance examinations. I went to that school, cram school, which is in Tachikawa City, which is and for 3 years, and I take the entrance examinations for 3 consecutive years. So I failed twice, and the third time so I passed the entrance examination. Then I entered the Tokyo University of Arts, and so I think it is very lucky, because the cram school, special cram school, is existed. Cram school existed just 30 minutes from my house by walk and train. It is very good. If I had lived in other prefectures, not Tokyo, it would have been very difficult to commute that type of cram school, because there are no cram school except for the very big city, except for Tokyo, I think. There's a very few exception, I think, but mainly there were only Tokyo. There were I think it is only place. Tokyo is the only place to study drawing for the entrance examination of art university, art colleges, because we couldn't find that type of cram school in other prefectures. So, and I studied, I exercise drawing. It is very different from my I had drawn in my house as a child, I was child. So I always draw the more like a maps or a maze, or more 2D something, and more symbolic or symbol of airplane, tanks. I like that kind of, especially that. I like the simulation game. That games and other. I have no idea. I cannot remember, but anyway, there. I was not interested in draw or paint like a picture, photos. I mean, I like more symbolic thing. For example, there, like a chessboard and a maze and that kind of thing. But in climate school, they taught me how to draw like an Dracula. That kind of a very old-fashioned Western style drawing with pencil and a conte and of course oil painting. But I believed at that time it must be good. It might be good for me. And of course I wanted to enter the art universities. One of art university. In first year, to be honest, I didn't care about that kind of thing. But anyway, it might be a good thing to enter, to study something more official art education. And so, at the third years, unfortunately, I entered the most difficult one and the most famous one. I was proud of it, proud of myself. Now, nothing to brag about, but I was really happy. I felt happy. And now, the experience very, very deeply affect my life and my feeling. And which make my stance very clear. So, after I became a student of the university. Of course, I studied and I painted. But anyway, I will talk about it the next episode. So, I hope you are looking forward to hearing my history. Okay. Thank you for listening to Speaking Tube Radio. Have a nice day. Balete.